You're in your early 50s. The career is stable. The house is paid for. From the outside, your life looks exactly the way it was supposed to look. And yet, lately, you find yourself wondering about the roads you never took, and the person you might have become if you had. Most people call this a midlife crisis. Psychologists have a very different name for it, a second adolescence. And if you were born between 1968 and 1974, what I'm about to share may explain why the life you spent 30 years building suddenly feels full of questions you never expected to ask. My name is David. I'm 53 years old, and 18 months ago, I sat in a parking lot outside my office for 45 minutes. Not because anything dramatic had happened, not because I had received bad news. I sat there because I couldn't remember why I was going inside. That frightened me more than I wanted to admit, because nothing was technically wrong. My job was fine. My marriage was fine. My health was fine. And yet, something inside me wasn't. By the end of this video, I want to show you something important. This restlessness you're feeling, this quiet discomfort that has no clean name, is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It may be the first sign that something important is finally waking up. Can I describe a scene? A completely ordinary scene. It's Tuesday morning, 5:30. The house is silent. The coffee maker hums quietly in the kitchen. You stand there, waiting for it to finish, and suddenly, something feels different. Not dramatic, not enough to alarm anyone. Just a small, quiet awareness sitting in your chest. You look around your kitchen, the photographs, the furniture, the life you spent decades building, and for a brief moment, it feels strangely unfamiliar. Not because you're unhappy, not because you failed. In many ways, you've succeeded. You worked hard. You kept your promises. You built stability. You became the person people could depend on. And yet, standing there on an ordinary Tuesday morning, a question quietly appears. Is this all there is? And beneath that question, another one. Is this really mine? And for the first time in years, you don't rush to answer it. Because sometimes the most unsettling moment in adulthood is not realizing you failed. It's realizing you succeeded and still feel something missing. The question isn't whether you built the right life. The question is whether you ever stopped long enough to ask whose life you were building. When you were younger, life felt straightforward. There was a checklist: finish school, build a career, find love, buy a house, raise a family. Each milestone promised something, a sense of arrival, a feeling that once you reached the next destination, everything would finally make sense. And for a while, it did. The promotions felt exciting. The responsibilities gave your life direction. Because in the first half of life, purpose often comes from building. Building security, building identity, building a future. But eventually, something changes. You wake up one day and realize the building phase is mostly complete. And suddenly, you find yourself sitting inside the very life you spent decades constructing. And that is when a strange realization appears. The strange thing about a golden cage is that it never feels like a cage while you're building it. It only feels like one after you've arrived. Comfortable, secure, predictable, even admirable from the outside. But still, a cage. Not because your life is wrong, because the question has changed. For 30 years, the question was, what do I need to build? Now the question becomes, who am I inside everything I built? And that question is far more difficult because there are no promotions for it, no trophies, no roadmaps, only honesty. I remember the day I received the promotion I had spent 11 years working toward. I drove home that evening with the windows down. I had imagined that moment so many times. The relief, the pride, the sense of arrival. But sitting in my driveway that night, I felt almost nothing. Not happiness, not relief, just a quiet, unsettling emptiness. Like opening a gift you wanted for years, only to discover the box was hollow. Psychologists have observed this pattern for decades. Once basic security is established, meaning gradually becomes more important than success. The promotion that once felt exciting loses some of its power. The approval that once motivated you becomes less necessary. And many people mistake this shift for ingratitude or weakness. It isn't. It's growth. Because eventually, every human being reaches a point where external success can no longer answer internal questions. No achievement can tell you who you are. No title can tell you what truly matters. No milestone can tell you how you want to spend the years you have left. And that is where this journey truly begins. To understand why this experience feels so intense, you first have to understand the generation experiencing it. The people born between 1968 and 1974 grew up during a very particular moment in history. Many of you learned independence early, sometimes earlier than you should have. The adults around you were busy, working, providing, trying to keep everything together. And whether anyone said it out loud or not, you absorb a message. Figure out yourself. Be responsible. Don't complain. Don't need too much. So you adapted. You became capable, reliable, self-sufficient. You learned how to carry weight without letting anyone see how heavy it felt. And those qualities served you well. They help you build careers, raise families, keep promises, become the person everyone could count on. But every strength carries a shadow, and the shadow of self-reliance is self-neglect. When someone spends decades responding to everyone else's needs, they slowly lose touch with their own, not because those needs disappear, because they become experts at ignoring them. And now, after all those years of being the responsible one, the questions you postponed are quietly returning, not because you become weaker, because for the first time in years, your life has become quiet enough for you to hear them, not as an accusation, not as regret, but as an invitation to finally meet the parts of yourself that have been waiting patiently all along. There is a moment that arrives for almost everyone in this season of life, and when it does, you never see time the same way again. When you're 25, the future feels endless. You assume there will always be another opportunity, another decade, another chance. You can postpone things, delay dreams, wait until life slows down, because somewhere deep inside, you believe there is still plenty of time. But something changes in your 50s. One ordinary day, without warning, you realize something. The future you've been planning for has quietly become the present. And almost at the same moment, another realization follows. You have fewer summers ahead of you than behind you. One day you discover that someday is no longer a destination. It's a decision. That realization can feel frightening, but it can also become the clearest moment of your life because it strips away illusions. The illusion that there will always be more time. The illusion that someday is guaranteed. The illusion that what truly matters can always wait. And when those illusions disappear, something unexpected takes their place. Not despair, clarity. Suddenly, the approval of strangers matters less. The image you spent years protecting matters less. The endless race matters less. And for the first time in decades, truth becomes more important than appearance. Because when time begins to feel precious, authenticity stops being a luxury. It becomes a necessity. This may be the hardest part to explain, because from the outside, nothing appears wrong. The bills are paid. The responsibilities are handled. Life continues, exactly as it always has. And yet, inside you, something refuses to stay quiet. A restlessness, a hunger, a feeling that something important is just beyond your reach. The people around you often don't understand it. How could they? They see a successful life. They don't see the version of you, lying awake at 3 a.m, wondering whether there is still more life left to live, more truth left to discover, more of yourself left to meet. And because no one else can see that struggle, many people assume the feeling itself must be wrong. But what if it isn't? What if the restlessness isn't the problem? What if it's the message? What if this discomfort isn't telling you that your life is falling apart, but that something inside you is finally waking up? Because every meaningful transformation begins the same way, not with certainty, not with confidence, but with the quiet realization that the old way of living no longer feels like enough. Sometimes, the strangest part of this season isn't what is changing, it's what is returning. A song you haven't heard in 30 years suddenly moves you. An old photograph stops you in your tracks. A place you haven't thought about in decades finds its way back into your mind. And before you realize it, you're thinking about dreams you abandoned so long ago. You stopped calling them dreams. They became memories. And yet, somehow, they're back. Not because you want to be young again. Most people misunderstand that. This isn't nostalgia. You're not longing for youth. You're longing for connection. Connection with the version of yourself that existed before life became almost entirely about responsibility. Before practicality became more important than curiosity. Before survival became more important than wonder. The music isn't what you're missing. It's the person you were when that music still felt like home. And sometimes, the person you're searching for isn't somewhere ahead of you. Sometimes, there's someone you left behind. So maybe what you're experiencing isn't a crisis at all. Maybe it only looks like one, because our culture has never found the right name for it. When a teenager begins questioning everything, we call it development. We understand that identity is forming. We understand that growth is uncomfortable. But when someone in their 50s begins asking deeper questions, we suddenly call it crisis. Why? Why should self-discovery have an expiration date? Why should growth belong only to the young? A midlife crisis is usually about escape. What you're experiencing feels different. It isn't pulling you away from your life. It's inviting you to become more honest inside it. Perhaps this isn't a breakdown. Perhaps it's the next stage of becoming. A season where the roles begin to loosen, the masks begin to crack, and the person underneath finally gets a chance to breathe. Maybe this is what growing up really looks like. So I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Who do you actually want to be? Not who you were expected to be. Not who you were rewarded for being. Not the version of yourself that learned to survive. Who are you when the noise becomes quiet? When the performance finally ends? I don't know what your answer is. Maybe you don't know yet either. And that's okay, because the fact that you're asking the question means something inside you is still alive, still listening, still waiting. Maybe that's what this second adolescence has been trying to tell you all along. Not that you need to become someone new, but that it's finally time to come home to the person you've been all along. Thank you for being here. It means more than you know. Tell me one thing you've started questioning. In this season of life, I read every comment, and I truly do my best to respond, because sometimes the most important conversations begin after the video ends. Until next time, take good care of yourself.